Kapil's Devils conquering the world during the famous summer of 1983, triggering hope to a nation on the rise.
Magnificent. Dhoni finishes off in style.
28 years later, Dhoni's Devils walk the same path of glory, scripting history in the summer of 2011, stamping the supremacy of a new age India as the original champions were left in tears of joy.
It's wonderful. This is the time to celebrate, enjoy yourself. It was, all the good memories come back, and why not cherish it?
And that's out. Yes, it's all over.
The heroes of 1983 started the grand journey. Their heroics and success paving the path to the champions of tomorrow, setting the stage for Dhoni's Devils to reconquer the world,
Off the ICC.
lending the men in blue confidence and conviction to reclaim cricket's biggest prize.
Well, the party will begin for sure. The Indian team have...
As the nation marks the first anniversary of the historic 2011 triumph, the original champions come together here on Headlines today to salute and honour Dhoni's Devils. In Champions, hail champions.
Trying to remember every moment. It's a moment that comes rarely.
Hello and welcome to this special presentation. I'm Aditya Ravi Shankar. Now from Lords to Wankhede, it's truly been a great journey for Team India. It just doesn't get bigger, better than a World Cup triumph. And who better to know then that the original World Cup champions of 1983. So over the next half hour in our special presentation, Champions, hail champions. Kapil's Devils lead the tribute to Dhoni's Men in Blue as India marks the second anniversary of that 2011 historic triumph. The 1983 win changed the course of the game, yes, in this country. But the 2011 triumph was the culmination of India's supremacy in world cricket. The original heroes relive the magic of Mahi and his men on that fateful night of 2nd of April 2011.
Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into
A shot that underlined dominance and supremacy.
the 28 years. The party started.
A team that embraced honor and pride.
Who's been absolutely magnificent in the night of the final. For his team promised.
A day that sees glory and history. Dhoni's Devils were truly a revelation. In the summer of 2011, demolishing the best, conquering the mighty, en route to help a billion relive cricket's greatest high. 28 years after Kapil's Devils led belief and hope to an emerging India. 2 long decades after, India first stamped its supremacy on the cricketing stage, the wait was finally over.
The Indian team have finally reached Lyra Nation lists the trophy.
A billion had relived their greatest dream. The joy was palpable. A year after the glorious summer evening of 2011, the original heroes lead the tributes to Dhoni and his champions on their first anniversary of their epic triumph.
When you get such a big honor with that, I think all the colleagues, everybody should remember that and say, yes, we done it and we should be proud about that.
In the entire World Cup, I think India played extremely well throughout the World Cup. I think they were the strong favourites to win the World Cup. They played like one.
The party begins in Mumbai.
After the tragic loss of the 2007 World Cup in the Caribbean, Dhoni and his warriors showed tremendous courage, grit and character to script a fairy tale turnaround, rising to the occasion in front of a roaring home crowd, stepping up to the mantle, delivering at the biggest stage, ensuring the nation broke into joyous celebrations. A year on, the triumph of 2nd April of 2011 still rings in cheer and joy.
That 2nd April has made a lot of difference. I think we're all proud of the team, and we can always say well done to India.
We were expecting our team to win since 28 years. Everybody were expecting the 2011 team, Dhoni's team, to win the World Cup.
India lift the World Cup after 28 years.
For the original world champions and heroes of 1983, there has been no greater joy than to see the future stars walk their path of fame, seal the ultimate high after a near 3-decade-long wait. And for the man of the final in 1983, who put together the 2011 team of celebrated champions, the joy and significance of the first anniversary of reclaiming the crown is second to none.
This has been a super game of cricket.
The ultimate dream relived again. The journey that started at Lord's in 1983 was finally completed on the night of April 2nd, 2011 at Wankhede.
Money is, all well and good, but it's something that cannot be taken away, and that is to be #1 in the world in 2011, be world champion.
Now you'd remember, if not having seen it live through, various reruns, Kapil Dev's fabulous catch in 1983 final to dismiss Viv Richards, that's still etched in every Indian fan's mind. And likewise, Mahendra Singh Dhoni's title-sealing 6 in the final at the Wankhede has a similar touch of genius, the swivel of the bat, which followed as well. Both in 1983 and 2011, the captains led from the front as India sealed glory, and none other than Kapil Dev, Lord's captain cool MS Dhoni for a job well done in 2011.
I think when you play the World Cup, you don't expect one person should win it. Whenever your term comes, your time is there, you should go and perform it. This is what the team effort is.
Race into the pavilion with the predicted numbers. Tremendous victory. Running outside as it's 33-1. The competition well underway. They've beaten West Indies twice. They've beaten Australia. They've beaten England. Round up fantastic I take it 20,000.
India's original World Cup winning captain saluting the man who followed on his footsteps 28 years later.
Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years. The parties start in the dressing room, and it's an Indian captain who's been
Hailing Captain Marvel for rising to the stage when the nation needed him the most. Leading from the front, skipper MS Dhoni played the knock of his life against the Lankan Lions at the Wankhede in a nerve-wracking 2011 World Cup final.
around for joy, and why wouldn't they have It gets those 43 runs, Bubble.
Digging deep within and soaking the pressure, Dhoni struck an invaluable unbeaten 91, guiding his team from a precarious 114 for 3 before stealing the show with a trademark beauty in the penultimate over. Images that define his leadership and captaincy.
It's an Indian captain who's been absolutely magnificent in the night of the final.
The final, I think a few things you can't forget that Dhoni just walked in. Throughout the tournament, he had a great tournament, but the way he took the ownership on the final and delivered and played that fabulous inning, I think one can cherish rest of our life.
The World 2020 champions India.
Having tasted the high of a World Cup win in his maiden stint as captain, Dhoni certainly knew what it takes to excel at the toughest stage. But turning in a man-of-the-match winning performance at cricket's biggest game, rising to the fore in front of a roaring home crowd, highlights the grit and character of India's favourite Captain Cool. One who soaked in the accolades while letting his teammates soak in the limelight on that momentous night.
In the night of the final.
As time goes, we will remember all the good things, where we were sitting, what we were doing, and what happened, and the way, Gautam Gambhir played, how Dhoni hit after hitting that, he let his bat roll his wrist and lifting all the trophies, and he's shoving off his head, all those things start coming back and back.
To be crowned a world champion is a feat few deserve. To bask in the glory of sealing the ultimate conquest is an honor few are blessed with. But none more than this supreme champion champion from Jharkhand.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni scored, and once again it is
Life's cruel hand of fate may have seen his fortunes nosedive and come a full circle in the season after. But skipper Dhoni has the complete backing of the original World Cup winning captain to turn it on yet again.
Have finally reached the moment they can lift the trophy.
I would just say to entire Indian team, you are in that age, your little bit extra work, extra mind, extra effort can change thought process of the team, and that's what we require from Dhoni. Come out and start motivating yourself in Test cricket and all the other cricket, and try to build a team, because captain is there, but you have to put everybody together.
Taken away, and that is to be #1 in the world in 2011. Be world champions. You'll never ever take that away from you.
Celebrating one of India's greatest ever limited overs triumphs. Now, if there was one man who had to be central to Team India's rise in the 2011 World Cup, it had to be, as always, Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar. A guide and an inspiration to his teammates, Tendulkar came to the fore in flying colours in 2011, living his greatest dream, sealing glory in a fairy tale fashion in a finish at his home ground in Mumbai, earning the plaudits from the legends of 1983.
Tucked away.
He spelt his hunger early on with the century against the English.
World Cup hundreds for the little man.
His intent underlined with another resounding show against Proteas. His determination came to the fore in the epic chase in a tense quarter-final.
See from the moment it left the back that it...
His commitment revealed in the high-pressure semi-final against the arch-rivals. Batting like a man possessed, Sachin had guided his team to a dream final at his home ground.
Chased the widest one from Oman.
But when Las Malinga robbed him of a fairy tale final with the Willow, one feared his destiny would play spoil sport yet again.
Tendulkar had been pushing at deliveries outside the off.
But his teammates ensured Master's dream run would not go in vain, shouldering the responsibility in the summit splash, ensuring a fitting end to a long and tiring 22-year wait for the ace batsman, as Sachin Tendulkar had finally lived his greatest dream.
It was his dream to win the World Cup, because this was his 6th World Cup. And of course, I think he could guide MS Dhoni also on the field, because he has played so many matches. And
my first ambition was to win the World Cup. And when you do sort of these sort of things, when you win the World Cup and people carries you, these are the memory which you carry, whole your life.
The high of being a world champion was truly the zenith of Sachin's illustrious career, a moment he had waited forever since he took to the Willow as a young schoolboy. While there is no denying the World Cup triumph was about Team India and team effort, there is no denying that Sachin was the single biggest force that catapulted the men in blue to greatness in the summer of 2011, emerging as the biggest inspiration for Dhoni's Devils in their journey to history.
Always been a great source of inspiration, a great source of motivation to the younger generation, whoever joined him while he's still there, right? So he was another brain behind the success, and it was his dream to win the World Cup.
I think he's an experienced player. I think he's playing for a long time, and he helps all the youngsters in the team. And he himself is an all-time big player, and I think he's a great role model.
The agony of the near miss in the 2003 World Cup was finally wiped out. The pain of the shameful exit to the 2007 World Cup was finally erased. Destiny had handed the Master the ultimate high of being hailed as a world champion. Ensuring a great cricketing journey that continues till date was truly fulfilled.
He deserved all that because he was instrumental in the majority of the victories by India. Where to start and where to finish. He hasn't finished, we cannot finish also.
His heroics on the 22 yards will inspire generations. The World Cup triumph, a culmination of his artistry and genius. The nation salutes world champion Sachin Tendulkar.
So as India won the 2011 World Cup, the entire nation went into raptures. Fans poured out onto the streets celebrating the memorable triumph of their idols. So 2 years on, we relive those historic images from the night of 2011, 2nd of April. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this presentation.
A billion Indians were wanting India to win. I was just wanting India to win quickly so I could catch my BA flight back to London, to be honest. I was so happy when Dhoni whirled his bat and hit it over mid-on. I was running to catch my flight. It was a great scene. Absolutely brilliant scene.
Well, it was huge. I guess what Kapil and the rest of his team left behind, it was a dream for all these youngsters who played after Kapil and that team. It was always a dream for India to go out there and repeat that sort of performance, lift the World Cup. Kapil started it, and it took us 28 years. Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Kapil went out there and did it. Hopefully, for next World Cup win, we don't have to wait 28 years.
That was probably the most memorable day मेरे लिए, जो कि आज तक का सबसे बड़ा दिन होगा मेरे लिए, क्योंकि इस दिन मेरा वो सपना पूरा हुआ था जो हर क्रिकेटर सोचता है कि मैं वर्ल्ड कप ट्रॉफी अपने हाथ में उठाऊं और पूरे अपने टीममेट्स के साथ सेलिब्रेट करूं.
The atmosphere from the streets of India, especially Mumbai, it was great, tremendous atmosphere, I would say, because I think everybody came on the bike. I think with India flag in their hands, shouting slogans, and everybody was so happy.
Sweets were distributed in all the players' houses wherever they belonged, and their neighbors came around congratulating their parents, their houses. So all like